This week for our teaching tips, we're going to continue on the topic of asking questions. As I said before, asking questions is at the heart of all gospel teaching and learning. So we want to make sure that we do it really well. Today we're going to go negative and look at questions that we want to avoid. These generally tend to be less effective types of questions. And the first type of question that we want to avoid is questions that have obvious answers or maybe one-word answers. These tend to not stimulate a lot of response and conversation. The next type of question that we want to avoid are simple yes and no type questions. We also want to avoid questions that spark controversy or contention or conflict in a class. And lastly, I'm going to call leading questions. These are the type of questions where the teacher asks in order to get the class members to try to guess what they're thinking or try to finish their sentence. Just like a lawyer in a courtroom might try to lead a witness, and of course, they're not allowed to do that. And we don't want to do that in class either. So these types of questions are not always bad, but they want to be avoided. For example, you might want to, if you want to ask a yes and no question, it's generally going to be followed up with a more specific, like explain your answer. Why did you say yes or why did you say no? So that we want to make sure that we're being effective. Good questions will help stimulate thinking and feeling in the students. And these tend to not do that. The leading type of questions tend to feel like you're being manipulated in the class, so we don't want to do those. Anyways, I hope that helps, and just as you're preparing lessons, make sure you look and maybe identify it, or think about your own teaching, and if you're asking too many of these types of questions, maybe rework and reword the questions that you're asking. Hope that helps.